Now this clip is good and bad in many ways. It's very similar to the opening clip, how she's directing herself to the camera rather than as if it's being shot as third person. I think it works well as like a comical clip. However, the filming was a bit dodgy. But I actually tried to film this a few times again, and the facial expression wasn't the same. And the reason being was that this actually was recorded again, not intentionally. It was recorded during some filming which went on, and I decided that I'd use it. It works well. It kind of displays her character. It gives a cheeky outline to her characteristics, and I just think it worked. As I said, it wasn't the perfect clip due to it wasn't actually meant to be filming, so the lighting and the mise en scène weren't as good as they probably could have been. But as I said, done professionally, and you could really work with this clip. I think it both challenges and conveys typical conventions, and the reason I say this is, it wasn't meant to be used as a film, so you could say that this challenges the conventions. It was an amateur recording, which wasn't meant to happen. It was just personal use or whatever you want to call it, and it actually ended up in the film. So I would say it challenges it, though the idea behind what actually happens in the clip, you probably would say conveys a typical convention due to the fact that it's comedy, and it emphasises what her character is like. This final clip, I think, works beautifully, to be honest. It works perfectly with the audio. You get my actor clicking his heels there in time with the music, and the music cuts out at the perfect time. This was done intentionally. This is what I wanted to happen, though it worked out by chance that the music worked well. I was going to add this clip in once I'd recorded it at a suitable place, but it worked out perfectly that it landed right at the end. I think it's a regular shot, really. There's not much special going on here, just regular mise en scène, regular type of shot and type of location. But I think the idea behind it works well. I wouldn't have said this challenges any conventions, really. It's quite regular, what you might see in a typical film. And I think this leaves the audience with an open imagination about the film. You could portray that as him at the very start being in love with Jennifer Reeves, or you could even portray it at the very end of the film. Maybe it turns out all right. We don't know. But yeah, I just think it's perfect. I really like that part of the clip, and I think it rounds off the trailer as a whole. It shows the audience that it's come to an end. It leaves them on a cliffhanger, really. And as I said, it works perfect with music, and as the music cuts out, you know that that's the end, and then I move on to the final title screens.
Meet Jennifer Reeves.
Okay, so right at the end of the film here, I have something which is typical of almost every trailer. In fact, I would have said every trailer. You have the introduction of the title, so they obviously know what they want to go and see. And this uses so I'm actually using the conventions here of a typical real media product. There's not much I really can say about this. I chose the same font as the actors, just to keep in the same theme. Blue background, just different colour, just to change it from what was said before. I think I used the voiceover as well, just to add a bit more texture, I would have said, to the trailer. Just a bit. Without it, I tried it without, and I just thought it needed that extra bit of something. I had them zooming in from the sides to, again, add a bit more of effect to the texture. And they fly away as well, so I think it works well.
In cinemas, June 19th.
Following on from that clip, exactly the same, just different title screen, just different words. In cinemas, June 19th. Most trailers have these type of things like out now or coming soon. And I chose in cinemas, June 19th. The date is actually someone's birthday. They requested for that, so I accepted. But nothing really different to what you've seen before in the previous clip to this one. Okay, so here's the final part of my trailer. I saw most trailers, in fact all trailers, use this. They have like I'm guessing it's like a copyright ending. It's just introduced the film, who's it made by, some of the actors possibly. And I decided to make my own. Jennifer Reeves in production with Fig Tree Studios, Universal Productions, just to make it a bit more professional. So I've conveyed the typical characteristics of any real media product or trailer here, and I think it works well. It looks professional, and it's very similar to what you've seen before on the previous text screens with the colour backgrounds, same styled font, though obviously there are some font changes which I copied due to the fact that most of the trailers I viewed, the ones I posted on my blog before, they're all very similar to that. Okay, so here's my final director's comments. Overall, I think I have both challenged and developed, and even used actually, typical conventions. I mean, I've explained them throughout. Lots of things include the voiceover. I've found a lot of comedy films have the voiceover. Use of text in certain places, such as introducing the film. The background music is quite lively, with the part where it cuts out the music and you have a tiny bit of dialogue or a clip. I think it works well overall. Especially, I think the voiceover works well as well. I mean, if there was no voiceover there, it would be quite bare. You wouldn't know what was going on. You wouldn't know any part of the theme. And I think my most part of the film, which really introduces the film to the audience, is the voiceover. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed listening to the director's cut there. So thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the film.